Hi, Emmanuel here with T2S, and T2S stands for Transform to Succeed. In this video, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna continue building on what we have already done. In my previous video, I talked about how you can use how you can set up an infrastructure. And on this part of this infrastructure, you're gonna, the end goal is to automate the deployment of a website, but using Kubernetes on AWS. So we're using EKS. That's Elastic Kubernetes Service on AWS. So we're gonna deploy that, kind of like orchestrate that cluster using a tool known as Helm. So we use that, and part of the integrations that we're gonna do, which will make up the components of this infrastructure. We're gonna have a variety of tools. We'll have Prometheus. Prometheus will help with it's gonna help with the logging and monitoring of our infrastructure, in terms of collecting metrics and stuff like that. So the other tool that we're gonna integrate into this infrastructure would be Grafana. See that? And the next thing we're gonna use Trivy. And Trivy, that's a tool that you use for you want to scan Docker images, want to make sure that there are no vulnerabilities, and if there are vulnerabilities, you want to be aware of those. The other tool that we use is Sona Cube, and Sona Cube will allow us to scan our code for code quality. So we're going to analyze our code, we integrate that, and lastly, we'll integrate Jenkins, and Jenkins will help us automate our integration as well as deployment. So that's the infrastructure. There's a link to the previous video as part of this series that I published the video. I published the video like a few days before publishing this one here. So what we've done is that what we want to do, if you have already worked on the previous video, you should have been able to install EKS cluster. And I'll show you where to go find the script to do all of this. So what you do, you can either go to Medium. When you go to Medium, that's medium.com, you will find me there. And this is kind of like a step-by-step guide that I'm providing here. You just use this one here, and you should be able to just follow the steps, and you should get it done. And again, here you see that I'm still testing this as of the recording of this video. And these are the tools that we plan to integrate as part of our infrastructure. And what's more important here is, where do you get the code? So go here, and if you click here, it's gonna take you to my repository, to my GitHub. And on my GitHub, this is where you find this. And what you do, just go here to HTTPS. You just copy this, and when you copy it, go to your favorite terminal. In my case, I'm using Visual Studio Code, and you're gonna just do git clone and then paste the URL here and press enter. Okay, hold on. So just remove that. I don't know what I'm missing here. So I'm gonna put this at the end here. That should work. Destination path. shouldn't be an empty. Okay, so we need to remove this here. So I'm gonna clear that, and let's do that. So I've removed that. I have this. This should be an empty. So let me see here. I don't know what's happening. Why it's not cloning this? It should be very easy to do. Because I already have this here. Okay, so let's say I create another directory, and I'll say test demo. Okay, clear my screen because I have already cloned this. It's on my in this location. But let me go here. So I'll go to test demo. So I'm gonna go to test demo. Let's see. Test demo. Okay, so I'm gonna go there, and then here I'll just recall the command, this one here, and it should work now. So you see, if you ls, then you have this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna go one level up. If I ls, and then I'll get rid of that because I don't need it. So I'm gonna remove that, delete. Okay, that's done, and we only have this one here. And if you go now, what you have to do is to go into this directory. So you get to this directory, and you're gonna see there's 4 files. If you go back to the website, to my GitHub, and you're gonna see we have 3 files here. 2 are directories, and 2 are simple files. All right. What you need to do next, following the README here, you see the README here, is to go into the EKS, because this is where you need to be, so that you should be able to install your EKS cluster. If you have not done that, then what you do, you begin by doing the Terraform init, and this will take some time. Clear the screen, and you can do Terraform plan to preview what you'll be building, what you'll be provisioning, and it's taking time to think here, and you're gonna build. You're gonna create 67 resources as part of your infrastructure. So you like that, and this is what you desire building, and then here you just enter yes to say go ahead and build this. And as I said, this will take some time. It's gonna take about 10 to 12 minutes to, probably more or less. All right, so you're gonna have to wait for that to complete. Yes, as you can see, it took about, I would say, maybe 14 or 15 minutes to provision this infrastructure. And this is the output. We have 67 resources have been added. Nothing changed, nothing destroyed. When you're done with this, what you have to do next is now to update. You need to update the kube config, meaning you configure your local machine to now talk to the cluster on AWS. I'm gonna show you the cluster here. So this is the cluster. It's been already created. So this is a EKS on AWS. So if you click clusters, this was created 19 minutes ago. So it took close to about 19 or 20 minutes to get done. It's been provisioned and we are using EC2 instances as nodes, you will need to go back to my previous video, and the link is in the notes here. Just click there. You will get an understanding of a Kubernetes cluster. Here, this is what we have. We have these nodes. They are EC2 instances, as you can tell. See, instances here. So now, the controller or the controller or controller node, or they used to call that master node, but now people are moving from master and slave terminologies to controller node and a worker node. So we're gonna the controller node will take care of pretty much all of the nodes as part of the cluster. And what we need to do now is to make sure that your local machine can communicate with your cluster. To do that, you will need to install this, as it's also one of the prerequisites. Looking at the notes, you're gonna find it there. So you should have installed kubectl. The other thing that you need to install is EKS You need to have this installed on your system, and you also need to have this Helm installed for us to be able to orchestrate our cluster. We want to use Helm to install the other components that we need as part of our infrastructure. And lastly, you're going to need to have AWS CLI installed. And to know that AWS is installed, when you run this command, you're going to get this here. So if you don't see anything like this, it means that you have to install that. So I'm going to clear my screen. As I said, what we need to do now is to make sure that our machine can now communicate. It can communicate with our cluster. And this is the command that you use to do that. So you're going to get the name of your cluster here. And then it's going to pull on the region. We'll update our kube config. Make sure that you type it right here, kube config, and then we'll put the name. So we're going to get that from our Terraform configuration. That's why you need to run this command where you have your Terraform configurations, configuration files. So you have that, then we'll output that raw and T2S here. That's the name of our cluster. So we call it T2S underscore services cluster. And we're gonna pull on that name here, because we use this as part of our Terraform configurations. And if the command is okay, then we should be able to configure our local machine to begin communicating with the cluster. So I'll do that, and you're gonna get this here to say that now it's a go. So you should be able to communicate. If you don't do this, even if you are to run the next command, which is now to add the Helm repositories, this command wouldn't work. So to add the Helm repositories of Sona Cube, Prometheus, and then the other tools that we want to use, you're going to need to first make sure that your system is configured to communicate with your EKS cluster. So we're gonna do the Sona Cube, and then you need the IP at the URL here. So I'm gonna put it here. So everything here will kind of like be the same. The command will be the Helm repo add. Okay. So and then I press enter, and you see Sona Cube has been added to our repositories, and you can verify by using this command here, Helm repo list. You see this has been added. Okay, so we're gonna do the same, use the same command, but only change the name of the repo to this time it's gonna be Prometheus. This is a monitoring tool, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'll paste also the URL here. So I have the URL there, and then press enter. That's been added. I'll do the same. Now it's gonna be for the next tools, and which will be Grafana first, and then we'll do Trivy. So we're gonna add that. We're gonna do add, what do we have? Aqua. So we're gonna use Aqua here. That's apparently how it goes for Trivy. And we will add URL. It's gonna be this one here, and that's been added. Lastly, we add Jenkins. Not lastly, because we're gonna need to add also SonarQube. Well, SonarQube, we've done it, right? Yeah, we've done it. So now we're gonna add Jenkins, and this is for CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment. So I do that, and I can list here. So we have added Jenkins Aqua, which will be for Trivy, Prometheus community, and SonarQube. I'll clear my screen. After doing that, we now need to update. We now need to update our repositories by using this command here, Helm repo update, and update complete. Happy helming. After updating the repositories, this is where we now need to deploy. To deploy, all of these tools, we're gonna start with Sona Cube. I'll just copy the command here and paste it here, and these commands, you find them on our GitHub repositories. So I'm gonna do enter and wait, and this tells you that it's been, you see the name created, the namespace, and namespace is that's the logical, like way you can organize how you can use resources in your environment. So we've done that, and this is to access your SonarQube. Here, I'll clear my screen. I'm gonna do the same for Prometheus. Just copy the command, then I'll paste the command here. It's a long command. Then press enter. And next we will deploy Grafana. So that's done. Clear my screen. I'm gonna deploy Grafana. And for the namespace for Grafana, we're gonna use we'll use monitor, because we want Grafana and Prometheus to be using the same namespace. Then I press enter. Error, Grafana not found here. I think I'm missing something here. Installation failed, repo Grafana not find. Let me see. Let me do repo list. Oh yeah, so we haven't added Grafana. So I'm gonna need to add Grafana here. Gonna need to add Grafana. So we're gonna do Helm repo, add Grafana. Then we need to find the URL. The URL will be this one here. I'm gonna paste it there. Helm, add, it should be Helm repo. Yeah, that's the issue when you type a long command. You may miss something here. So that's been added. So let's see the list, and it's there now. So if I go back and recall that command here, it should work now. Yeah, it should work. So that's done. Next, we're gonna finish now with not finish, but the one before the last one. It's gonna be Trivy. So I just paste the command here, and wait. So we'll be done with this one, and then we're gonna go to, and then you see the date here. That's the date of the recording of this video here and the time. So I'm gonna clear my screen, and now what we need to do, we create for Jenkins. I'll first create a namespace. So I'll do namespace. I can do that, or just run the command here. I'll just run the Helm command. And when I run the run command, I will assign the password to be this one here. And then the username will be that one. And the namespace will be Jenkins. Press enter. Okay, so we're missing, failed to create namespace Jenkins not found. And I guess we have to create the namespace first. So I'm gonna create it manually. Create namespace Jenkins. Sometimes you can just use NS. Let me try to do NS here, and it should work. Require one. Okay, I'll just let me try with this one here. Name space Helm. Okay, sorry about that. I was using the wrong command. So it should be cube ctl. And if I go back here and then use ns, stand for namespace, it should work. Okay, that's created. So ns, that's short for namespace. So that's done, and then we can recall this, and it should work now. And what we need to do next is to verify that all of these tools have been deployed. And this is the command, kubectl get pods. The pods, pod, that's the basic unit on Kubernetes cluster. So we're gonna do wide, and then n, that's for standing for name there. So we're gonna start with Sona Cube, see if it's been deployed, and you see it's been deployed here. Okay, it's been deployed. We're gonna do the same, let's say for monitor. And remember, for monitor, that's the namespace. For monitor, we have Prometheus and Grafana. So we're gonna see Prometheus and Grafana here. So here you're gonna see you have Prometheus there, you have Grafana, you have different more than two, because of the different tools or components of each of these tools here. So the next thing we're gonna check on Trivy. So we're gonna call it Trivy system. And here it is. I don't know, for some reason it's saying pending. It should be finished at this point. So we'll see how we can fix it. But the point is just practice playing with this in terms of deploying these on our cluster. And here is our Jenkins. So this one, that's something that I need to troubleshoot at some point. But we'll focus on what's working for now, for the sake of this video, right? Then we'll fix it. So now, next, how do we access these services? And to access, when you host deploy a service on a Kubernetes cluster, so you use this command, kubectl get svc, which stands for service, and then the name of the namespace, right? So we're gonna begin with Sona Cube. And here it's gonna give us this information here. So we have this information. What you need to look for is the external IP. You have the external IP and you look for the port. So you have this here. This is what you need. So I'm gonna copy this, and then I will open a browser, the internet browser, paste that there, and the port is 9000. The port is 9000 as you see it here, right? It's 9000. So go back there, and let's see if this will allow us to to look at our SonarQube. Yeah, I had some issues earlier on, but I will try again. And then there's a SonarQube that we need to look into, as well as Trivy. So we're gonna have to fix that. But in the meantime, let's try the monitoring tools that we have here. So we have Grafana, and we do the same thing. So you copy that, and you have to copy it right, okay? Here. So I'm gonna copy that, and remember, we need this port here. So let's go back to our browser. I'm gonna paste that, and then column, and then 80. We're gonna get to the dashboard of our Grafana page, and you see, so it's happening here. And in the meantime, let's try. Grafana will be. It's kind of like using it's gonna get the logs and the metrics and everything else from Prometheus. Prometheus will be Grafana will be ingesting all of those logs from Prometheus server. So that's how we are going to set this up. So let's try now to access Jenkins. So I'm gonna change this to Jenkins here. Okay, so you do the same stuff, the same thing, same process here. And then you go back to the browser, paste the address, the external IP address. If you go back to the terminal here, our port will be 8080. And back to the browser. So you're gonna enter 8080, press enter, and this should take you to Jenkins. So so far we have 3 tools that are working, and in another video I'll show you how you can take care of SonarQube as well as Trivy. But this is your login prompt for Grafana. If you go back here, what we need is to find a way now to log in, right? We need to log in, and to log in to Grafana, I believe what we did was just admin and admin here. Okay, so you're gonna do that and log in. It's gonna prompt you to create a new password. So I'll just create one here. And you can do the same too there. The two passwords, they have to match. And then submit. I say never. This is your dashboard for Grafana. Grafana, it's a visual tool, a tool that you can use to visualize your logs and metrics and everything else. You can also set it to send alerts here. Like you can create contact points, alert rules. You can it can show you active notifications, processes that you may set up. You can also administer, like deciding on who should have access to what on your Grafana dashboard. And if you go like to that data sources here, you click there. When you click there, you see here already Prometheus has been integrated into our Grafana, component here or tool. So if you click here, then you can, what you need to do is just to provide your Prometheus server URL, which you get from your command line. Okay, so I'll show it to you here. If you go back here, just do the monitor here, get the service information for the monitor, and you have your Prometheus here. So you can use Prometheus server is this one here, and then this is what you may need to put in there. If you go back here, the goal of this video, it's not to see how we can do this, but you can use, I didn't want to configure all of these tools as part of this video, if you get what I'm saying here. So you can do that, and what you need to do here, just save and test. So there was an error querying the Prometheus API here, and this is something that I'll show you. I'll show you how to configure these tools in another video. But what we wanted to do here is just to I wanted to share with you how you can deploy these tools to your infrastructure that is being hosted on as a Kubernetes cluster. So you can play with this. You can build also your own dashboard. Like here you see add visualization, and you can add anything here. It could be just an EC2 instance. It could be anything. Okay, and if you it's an EC2 instance, you have to make sure that you allow traffic, right, to go from your EC2 instance to your monitoring tool. All right, that's enough about Grafana. And then when you go to the Jenkins here, you find your username and your password, and I'm gonna show you how you can do that on the command line. So for this, how you do it, you're gonna need to, there's a command that I'm trying to find here. Let me see if I can find it. The command, I can find the command. There's a command that you can use to do that. and I had the command not long ago, so let me see if I can find it and then share it with you. So what you do is to go to a specific file, and it is in this file that you will show the you will display temporary password, and I'm gonna get that command right now here.